What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Tales of the Titans, starring Raven. This is the issue 2 of 4 with this whole new Tales of the Titans series. It's a spinoff of the current Titans book by Tom Taylor, and I've actually kind of enjoyed these spin-off issues more than the main series. This one is focused on my girl Raven. Raven's one of the best characters ever conceived in DC Comics, so I'm glad she's finally getting an issue where it's pretty much solely focused entirely on her. No Beast Boy in sight, which is good because she's been like, I mean, like everywhere she goes, she can never just like get a story told on her own anymore, unless like Marv Wolfman writes her. So like, I mean, the last time was like Daughter of Darkness, which was so long ago, but I'm kind of glad that she's the focal point of this thing. So the basic story is it's kind of spinning out of the events of that whole like Dark Crisis like storylines with the Lazarus Reign. If you remember a while back, I'm drawing a blank on it because it was like one of those, some of those characters turned into Trigon's sons or whatever due to Born of the Lazarus Reign, if you will. There's this character known as Trilogy, and he's trying to prove his worth to Trigon, and he's like, what can I do? And he's like, you'll need sons of your own. So I guess they're gonna have, Trigon needs grandbabies or something like that. Meanwhile, Raven's at this party right here for this former Titan, if you will, about being a mother, and you know, it kind of makes her reminisce about like what happened with her mom and all that other stuff. Now, Raven's design here is a little better than the main Titans book has her with that ridiculous pink hairdo, and she is written better in this particular issue. I still don't really love this particular style of her. I'm just like, Raven is one of the most like should look a lot better than this. I feel like I don't know why they're going with this design. I mean, this artwork is done by Eleonora Carlini. I mean, Starfire looks like okay enough, like Trigon, everyone else does, but I'm just not a huge fan of this design. Granted, like I said, it is an improvement over the way she's looked before, especially in the current Titans book, but still not a huge fan of it. But anyway, so she's reminiscing about her mom. She kind of goes off on her own little mission, which brings her to Gotham City. This issue kind of does a new little recap of her origin and like what happened with her mom and all that. And then she's led to something, and there's a character who appears as an angel claiming to be of Azarath, and then they're like, hey, we got some Trigon stuff to deal with. And she's like, are you kidding me? How many times do I have to deal with this asshole? Like, why am I always the same person who always has to deal with Trigon? Can't somebody else deal with it? She's a little frustrated, a little tired of the whole thing, and then she's kind of reminded of the situation like her mom went through. So she's like, all right, I'm going to step up. I'm going to infiltrate this cult of Trigon, if you will, to try and stop this whole situation. By the way, this angel's character is known as Amadeus. I don't know, I'm just thinking of that song. But anyways, Raven does her thing. She sees a woman who is kind of in the same position as her mom. You get to see her compassionate side, and you get to see Raven do her thing to try and bust this cult, if you will. And of course, that Amadeus character was revealed to be the character of Trilogy, who we saw earlier on. Raven gets into a bit of a scuffle with him, and she ultimately wins, but kind of like banishes him, and he's kind of given a choice, if you will, like his situation with Trigon. Why should like this high priest guy is still kind of around the way he is. I don't exactly know why Raven doesn't throw his ass in jail or like knock his ass out. I don't know, but hey, Raven kind of gives a chance, and ultimately at the end of the issue, she meets up with this character, and maybe he's going to show up later on, or maybe he won't. But yeah, so that was a quick Raven story. So all things considered, I did enjoy the issue overall. I liked it more than the Starfire one. I mean, I do have a bit of a bias towards Raven. I mean, I've always really liked her character, and just the fact that it was pretty much just a Raven-focused issue. You didn't have to worry about Beast Boy coming in or anything like that. I know I'm ranting hard on Beast Boy, but it feels like Raven can never be allowed to stand on her own anymore. She's always just kind of like linked to him, like in every new comic book. And I just want to see her like to showcase herself a little bit. And her design is better than the main Titans book. I think that ridiculous pink hairdo needs to go. It's not perfect by any stretch of the means. I'm always for Raven going in and busting down various cults and getting to show off her powers and such. So like, as a Raven fan, like I said, I like this one overall. Don't think it's amazing, don't think it's one of the best storylines she's had, but compared to everything else that she's been in terms of like the main DC Comics continuity, from what I've read over the past like few years, it's definitely like one of the stronger things she's been a part of. So yeah, I wouldn't mind just a Raven focused spinoff where she's just kind of on her own, busting up like cults of Trigon and doing various other things on her own, or maybe have Raven join the Justice League Dark. I think that would be a really cool idea for her to kind of get her like away from just kind of the Titan stuff. And I know like she was part of the new Teen Titans, and she's gonna forever be intrinsically linked to that. But I mean, come on, like, don't you want to see Raven go off and like do missions with Constantine and Zatanna. Doesn't that sound more exciting and interesting than what she's been like stuck doing for the longest time, or just a complete solo series based on her? None of this like really kind of fanon-based stuff that's been coming out of DC, like those YA graphic novels or anything like that. Like I want Raven to get like a better, proper showcasing, and I think this is a step in the right direction for her. So artwork, like I said, it's a little like, I'm a little iffy on her design. I do think it's better than the one that's going on in the Curtain Titans book, like for sure, that awful pink hairdo that she has, and her writing's stronger in here than it is in the Curtain Titans book. But there's still room for improvement. Like I said, I think her design definitely needs some work. Like, why can't we get like classic, like George Perez looking Raven? Is that really that hard to kind of get something like that? I don't know. DC does some iffy things with Raven, it seems, for a good chunk of the time. But, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. But anyways, if you have any thoughts on this particular issue, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of it. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. And as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.